Welcome to the Raider Corner. I'm your host, Eric Johnson. Of course, we are live with the radio stations in Columbus. And get this, and as we pull in, we got Coach Pullido. Coach, we are on the fan zone page on Central Community College in the athletic selection. So the section over there, I think we're kind of a big deal now, Coach. I appreciate appreciate the time, man. What do you think? The podcast thing is going off like gangbusters. How you enjoying the interaction with the talking about men's soccer and all that?
No, it's been great. It's nice to give the public something to do in their free time. Come learn more about Central Athletics. So I think it's awesome.
Well, that's what I do best. I'm the wingman to men's soccer, and of course, let's talk about men's soccer. Since last time we got to talk, you've been hot and heavy on the road. You're at 4-3-1. You're 1-3 away, and you hit a little bit of a skid. I mean, tell us a little bit about kind of what unraveled for you in those 3 games.
Yeah, so we the very first game we ended up winning 5-4. A very close match. Had 6 guys late to a practice. 5 were starters, so we kind of had to fend for ourselves without some key players. But I think it helped us a little bit in the long term. So, but yeah, and then we tied the number 1 team in the nation in Division I. They haven't lost a game in 33 games. Haven't lost since 2023. We walked away from that one thinking we should have won. And we had a quick turnaround the next day against another good Division I team and lost 1-0. So it's kind of hard to play back-to-back against 2 good opponents. We in the first one, and then 24 hours later lost a 1-0 game. So it was a good learning moment for the team. We did follow it up with a 6-hour travel to Neosho, the current number 4 in the nation. So they also gave us a good challenge. Unfortunately, we were 1-1 with 6 minutes left. We ended up giving up a penalty, and so that's how they beat us 2-1. And so we had a second loss there, and then ended up with a third loss that following weekend against KCK. They're another good team, and so we fortunately bounced back. We came back on Tuesday and had our first home game in 5 games. So we had a good showing there. Beat Patrick and Henry out of Virginia. They traveled from Virginia to play us, and we won that game 4-1. So hopefully that's going to be good, kind of taking us into our region play that starts this weekend.
Well, and I was just going to ask you about what per se have you seen as a constant that is a concern. Is the travel time? But when you talk about Patrick and Henry coming in all the way from Virginia, it kind of renders mute a little bit. But I'm going to ask it anyhow. What seemed to be the constant factor in each one of those last 3 games?
I'm going to be honest. I think the biggest thing is just finding the back of the net. The 3-0 loss against KCK. They shot 4 times. We shot 23 times and lost 3-0. So, their keeper made tremendous saves. He had 14 saves, which I think is, that's pretty, and it's pretty impressive, for a goalkeeper to have that many saves. But then it also kind of talks about how continuous we were in trying to get a goal. And some games are like that, that's just soccer. And so I would say that's been a constant. Fortunately for us, we were able to find the goal a bit more this past Tuesday. We scored 4 and we had 6 times that we hit the post. So different moments where we were just being aggressive, and unfortunately the goals aren't going in as much as they could. And we've been playing some teams that if you make a mistake, they're going to punish you. And that's kind of what's happened. So we played some good teams that put away their chances, and sometimes we weren't able to. And that's kind of what happened in those 3 games that we lost.
Talking here with Coach Pullido. It is the Raider Corner. Heard exclusively on the radio stations in Columbus, as well as on the fan zone page at cccneb.edu. Coach, taking a look, obviously you get to come home, kind of shake the cobwebs off a little bit. The status of the team, any injuries or anything to report as of recently?
No, we actually we had, I think this next game, this Saturday, might be the first game where we have everybody. We had some guys that were hurt for a while. We had a player pick up a red card and was out for a couple games as well. So I think this will be the first game this upcoming Saturday where we're going to have everybody, and it's also our first region game. So it'll be the first time we play in Region 11 for men's soccer. So looking forward to hopefully starting off with a win there.
Well, let's get right into the thick of things. Marshalltown coming in, the first crack at it. Walk us through what you see with Marshalltown.
They're pretty good. They have they don't have a lot of size. Actually, a big portion of their team is actually players from Japan, and so they're very quick. They're good at drawing fouls. So for us, the big key there is just going to be to make sure we don't give up any fouls when they're trying to get them, because that's how a lot of their goals come from free kicks and penalty kicks and things like that, from just fouls that they're able to get close to the opponent's goal. So I think if we can minimize that and then again put away our chances, we should be in a good spot. They were voted to finish below us, so I think this would be a game where we want to see ourselves walk away with the 3 points and the win. So, but we'll see. I mean, it's like you said, travel wise, it's about 4.5 hour drive, and then we play the same day. So just about making sure we hit the ground running in those first few minutes.
Yeah, and of course you get to come back home for a matchup next week against Iowa Lakes Community College, and then you're back on the road again, going to North Iowa Area Community College to be exact. No rest for the willing. I mean, good to have home field advantage coming in next week. Walk us through Iowa Lakes. What do you see there?
Yeah, so that's another top 5 team in the nation. They're actually national champs 2 seasons ago, and so they're right now it's them and the last year's national champs to kind of the teams to beat in the region. So I'm glad that we at least get to play at the level of that kind of a team. We play them at home, just because they, anything we can have in those games we'll take, just because of the level of the opponent. So I think that'll be an interesting game to have here at our place on Wednesday. And then, yeah, we'll follow it up with NIAC, the Northern Iowa Area Community College. They've been pretty solid too. And their field is, I always like to say, it's kind of like a cow pasture. I think it used to be a cornfield like 2 years ago kind of thing. So definitely when teams go and play at their place, they always struggle just to first few minutes, just adapting to a different kind of surface, if that makes sense. So
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of great gameplay to be had. You said it yourself too last time we talked. September was going to be just make or break, get things rolling, and just kind of hypothetical. And I know you as a coach, you don't like to say that looking ahead or anything like that. But for the last tail end of September, overall, you thinking coming out of it, couple wins here, I mean, does it look manageable to get out of September with some solid dubs?
I think so. I think the potential's there. I mean, we talk with our guys too. Like we should have beat the number 1 team in the country, right? We let in a couple silly goals and we ended up tying, which is still not a bad result considering how good they are. But I think the potential is there for us to be solid. And it's like I said, it's just going to come down to, can we score the chances we have, and can we make sure that we don't get punished on the things that we do give up. And it's hard to say, right? No one can predict the future, but if everything were to go the way we plan it, we should definitely walk away with wins in the month of September. So we're going to work towards that, and then we'll see at the end of the month if it worked out or not. So.
And exactly, you can't predict the future, but if you want to find out for yourself, make sure and get yourself a chance to go to see one of the games here locally in Columbus. Whenever you get a chance, they'll be glad to have you out there in the stands rooting them on. Coach Pullido, if they need to get a hold of you, what's the contact info?
Yeah, my email, Luis Pullido, LuiSPulido at cccneb.edu, or you can call my office as well, 402-562-1263.
That's right. Coach Pullido joining us here for men's soccer. He's a busy guy. Got to let him go. Appreciate it, Coach, and we'll talk down the road.
All right. Yep. Take care.